Welcome everyone, this is DarkTideFOW first upload. We're going to go over a deck tech for a brew that I made up personally. My name is Cody, over there with DarkTideFOW. We're going to take a look at Alice, Girl of the Lake. I thought she looked great. Her judgment, a lot of people seem to think that it's high costing. Judgment 8, you may pay 1 less place ability for each fairy you control. But with the fairies that came out in this set, that's not that hard to do. On her flip side, she is when this card enters your field, recover all fairies you control, which is something you need to remember before you flip. And then her God's Art is J Resonators you control gain +2/+2, and search your main deck for Regalia named Excalibur, the Spirit God's Sword, and put it into your field and shuffle your main deck. Of course, you can only do this once per turn, once per game, God's Art. So that is our ruler. We're going to go ahead and start off with the stones. We're going to have 1 Feethsing in there, protection for your fairies. And then we're going to have a little red because we are running a 4-colored fairy deck. It's really good to get this on the flip. I mean, sometimes you don't have what you need, and it's really nice to have. Followed up with 4 Magic Stone of Gusting Skies because you almost always want to have white and green. And then on top of that, we have 4 of these new stones. They are the Fairies Memoria. I have a proxy in here because the set hasn't been released yet, so I've only been able to pick up 3. The card says, as this card enters Magic Stone area, reveal a fairy from your hand. If you don't, this card enters Magic Stone rested. Alright, let's move on to Resonators. Started off with our 1-drop Resonators, which are going to be our 4 Flame Sprites. Card is great. Comes in with swiftness, and it has the ability tap. This card deals 100 damage to each to target resonator for each fairy you control. We're going to have 4 Light Sprites, gain 100 life for each fairy you control. Another ability, and then we're going to have 4 Wind Sprites, mana ramp, tap, produce white or light, and then on top of that, we're going to have our 4 Water Sprites. These are just to make sure our hands stay full. After those, we have some Lords. We have 3 Nimues, Nimue the Fairies, and we have 3 Elaine the Fairies. Cannot be blocked without from J Resonators without flying, and they have Awakening. Elaine's Awakening is when this card enters your field, search your main deck for a card named Protection of the Fairies, reveal it and put it in your hand, and shuffle your main deck. Other fairy resonators you control gain +200, +0. And Nimue is when this card enters your field, put target card named Protection of Fairies from your graveyard to your hand for Awakening cost. And then her ability is other fairy J resonators you control gain 0 +200. Notice this says J resonators on both of these. Therefore, your Alice gets pumped up by them as well. And to finish off our resonators, we have 2 Viviane's Lady of the Lakes. She is put a fairy resonator with total cost more or less from your hand into your field for her tap ability. And then her static ability is whenever, well, not static, it's triggered ability. Whenever a fairy enters your field, fairy resonator, fairy J resonators you control gain +2/+2 until end of turn. This also pumps up Alice, Fairy Queen. Moving to spells, an auto include will be Protection of the Fairies, just free 1-drop. As long as it targets a fairy resonator, you pay light less, so it's a free spell. Also, its ability banish this card, prevent the next damage that will be dealt to target resonator until end of turn. So even if it's equipped to one of your other fairies, you can banish it and protect another. On top of that, we're going to have 3 Heavenly Guardians of Armalla. Resonators with flying gain +2/+2. And then it has a little bit of a control in there. For 2 white and tap it, rest target resonator without flying. Great just to pump up all your resonators, except for the Wind Sprite, the green one. He is not flying, so that does not work with him. And then our last spell chant, Grand Cross. This is still an iffy spot. I'm not too certain if we're going to keep this in here. The deck, I've played it against the Valentina control list and a Velad control list, and it did exceptionally well at 1, but these cards both were not even relevant because we pump up our fairies to pretty much be bigger than anybody else's resonators. Moving on to Regalia. 4 Artemis bow. Just because, I mean, extra removal, it's so great. Such a great Regalia. If I had to say, it's probably the best Regalia in the game. And it's just so good. So much value that comes with it. And finally, finishing off the list, we have 3 Excalibur, the Spirit God's Sword. It's not a 0 drop, so I didn't think it deserved a 4 spot, but it's still a great Regalia. And being able to turn 1 Wind Sprite, turn 2 Excalibur into another Wind Sprite or whatever fairy resonator you have in hand is great, as well as another fairy. So by turn 2, it's easy with this Regalia to have 3 fairies on the board. That leaves you 1 turn to flip over Alice. And there we have it. The list and stones. Let me know what you think. Any questions or comments? Any additions that you think would be better? Anything that you think would be better taken out? Yeah, I like Alice Fairy Queen a lot. I think that she deserves some good playtime, and we're gonna try to make this deck as best as possible. So thank you for stopping in. Check out DarkTide's webpage and go ahead and subscribe. Thank you.